Friend, where are you? Found you hiding here in the near clear blue.
He's been cited by IGN, The Quartering, Timcast, The Daily Wire, Bounding into Comics, and even Dr. Jordan B. Peterson.
What?
Hey, the Pro Show is on!
Awesome! Let's turn it on.
Guys? Where'd you go?
Morty, let's check in on Rian Johnson's new trilogy.
Okay.
I bypassed the compressor.
What did you do, Ray?
Son of a that's gonna leave a mark.
Now, he was okay, after 6-7 weeks. Okay? They get over it. Kids are resilient like that.
Yeah. I hate it.
It's the standard, what would George do?
I don't want you here.
So sorry, George, I didn't think it would go like this.
Fly, you fools.
I've fallen, and I can't get up.
Weird.
Stay away from liquor, kids.
I have always liked Cowabunga.
Cowabunga!
Now that's more like it, Mr. Wayne.
It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward.
The Force will be with you. Always.
That's how winning is done.
I am vengeance. I am the night.
That's what she said.
I am Batman.
If I won tonight, I would come home and we'd celebrate. Well, I'm coming home, we're celebrating. God bless you all.
Watch your habits, for they become your character. And watch your character, for it becomes your destiny. What we think, we become.
It's scooping time.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, in just 2 minutes, the lighting at the Magic Kingdom will dim for the performance of the Pro Show. We hope you enjoy and have a magical, truthful time. For the safety of others, please, no flash photography. And welcome to Provision 3D.
All right, everyone, put on your coffee glasses. Oh boy, Chop those now. I'm so excited.
Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome.
You know that you've been taught the golden rule, do unto others as you'd have them do unto you.
Yes, Paul.
Autobots, roll out.
I'm bringing the party to you.
If somebody's going to try to blackmail me with advertising, blackmail me with money?
Fortune and glory, kid. Fortune and glory.
Chicken jockey!
All right, it's time to go to school, son. Come on, get your hands up, man.
Are you okay?
They'll never take our freedom!
From the redwoods of California to the hills of Tennessee to the Rockies and the Sunshine State and Maine with that bright and shining sea. From coast to coast in North America, it's time for your host with the most, bringing you all the entertainment news that should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the WDW Pro Show!
It's 2035, and it's time for the grand opening of a long-awaited Villains expansion.
Here we are in the first attraction, a grown-ups only establishment where you can get sloshed with Ursula. And guess what? Here we are again, back at another bar. Have you ever wanted to booze it up with little green men?
Excuse me, are there any rides here, or is this all just bars?
Oh, there's tons more here beyond alcohol.
Well, it's Monday. We're back again.
Lauren, that's not the way we start a Monday around here, though, is it?
Is it not?
It's this way.
It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party! It's Monday, boys and girls, let's party!
Ladies and gentlemen, the entire entertainment landscape has shifted. It's changed. And we've got breaking news tonight. We'll get to that in just a bit. If you are tired, if you are weary from all the coverage of the conflict over the Middle East, worry not, my friends, for here we continue to cover the wins that are happening all across Tinseltown and Hollyweird, the woke era going down. They're fighting, of course, and we're covering it every single day and in every single way with truth, capital T, that is. Lauren, are you ready for a fantastic show tonight, sir, as 400 of the happiest, greatest, most in shape, handsomest, most beautiful, highest IQ individuals are joining us this evening?
Do you know all of that for a fact, or are you just speculating?
I've heard from authorities, Lauren.
Okay, I'll go with you.
Yeah, we've investigated this.
As a volunteer sheriff, I can look up anyone's psychiatric records or surgical histories.
And we have, and we will. Because that's what the people demand of us. That's what we're here to do, okay? That's part of the job description. I don't care what the authorities tell me. Lauren, we've got lots of stuff to cover tonight, and it's going to be a big one. It's going to be a great one. But talking about great ones, the generosity raining down upon us out there in the chat is unlike just about anything we'll see. You've ghosted on us there, Lauren. You're back again. Welcome back. I just want to commend everybody. This is so wonderful to begin the show this way, turning the chat from gray to green. It's phenomenal stuff. So before we celebrate, let me bring in some folks with us, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage a man who ghosts better than Lauren with a green screen. His name, well, the one and only LW Ghost.
I don't know what that means. I go better than Lauren with a green
You ghost.
screen.
See, Lauren, I don't know if you noticed.
I see.
Lou, I don't know if you noticed. Lauren leaned forward and, you know, okay.
Yeah, he's in the etherverse somewhere there, yeah.
I think they call that the Ethernet.
Welcoming in a man who knows welcoming in a man who lives in the etherverse. At least he's learned how to control it, converse with the spirits therein. Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the channel yet again, a real life fake wizard. Welcome, sir.
I am not a ghost. I'm not a ghost, nor am I magical, but I am here.
That's right. I don't know. The conversations we have are magical.
Yes, but somehow you're always there when grim grinning ghosts come out to socialize. So explain that one, if you dare.
Yeah, they want me to be the last member to join their house. And,
the ghost host?
I think you need an upgrade, Fake Wizard. I think you need a regal staff of some kind.
I need a staff. Yeah.
You know,
maybe.
You need to talk to your accountants. You know, as you're going through this tax season right now, you need to say, by the way, for next year, I just want you to know we're going to depreciate the value of a giant staff. And I need you to explain to the IRS why I need said giant staff for my business.
Yes. Yeah.
I was thinking of a comely staff of lovely assistants in a room typing away mischievously somehow.
No, not that kind of stuff. That's what the accountants are going to believe at first. But no,
well,
this is...
listen, you let your rod and your staff comfort you, and I'll let my rod and my staff comfort me, okay?
We're not going there tonight, Lou. We're not. All right, folks.
Too late. Anyway.
Starting off the show with a bang.
That's right. A bang. And on that note, we're taking Lou to church right now. Not the way the song sings it, folks. That's not really about church. Did you think that song was... Play it quick.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was heard.
Folks, I've heard that StreamYard is having a hard time, and we survived StreamYard earlier today. on that Park Place. This is so funny. Nobody knows this except me. I go to pull up the super chats and the gifted memberships. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but it has scrambled all of them. They're not in order. I don't even know why it does that. It's never done it before. It's not going to stop us. It's not going to bother me. But I just got to say, I don't know if this is an omen for what's coming. I don't know if there's trickery about because Wiz needs a staff and reality is melting down. But we're going to get through this. Whatever happens tonight, we will get through this together. There Can Only Be 148 has gifted 10 WDW Pro memberships. And if I'm not mistaken, I know who this is. Thank you, Highlander. We appreciate you.
Speaking of which, did you see Christopher Lambert's going to do a cameo in the Henry Cavill Highlander movie?
No, I did not.
Yes, that was big news today. They showed them together.
Big news. Yep.
Well, for everybody but you, Lauren. That's why I mentioned that to you earlier. But
Lauren, come on, man. You know what? You're about to get a Cranky Casino clip if you don't watch it. You and your Highlander stuff.
I already said that I would watch the remake just to see if it's any better than the utter dreck that the first movie was. But and if it is, I'll admit it. But I'm skeptical.
All right, Woofle is out there saying raise the super cats for a very specific $4.91. That's very specific. You know what? We will though raise the super cats. Going to Scott Westbrook, who is our super cat out there, dropping 5 pro memberships. Thank you, Scott. Indeed. Thank you again, Scott. We appreciate you. Archer Merchant for 2. Oh, no. They're worried they'll be held accountable? Oh, yeah. Yeah, get ready. I love Brian Stelter saying, well, the Ellisons want us to be approachable by 70% of the American populace. They want us to be fair and balanced. Why, that sounds like CNN already. You got to love it. I mean, you got to love it. They appeal to easily less than 30%. We know that for the ratings. Yeah, we know it. Kelly out for 5. CNN was the biggest but not only news asset. Do not discount Comedy Central, birthplace of The Daily Show, and millennial news consumption. Yeah, we're going to cover that tonight because John Oliver is saying, how do I get out of here? Please let me out. Please let me out, like a genie trapped in an evil lamp, except he only brings falsehoods instead of wishes. Oh, John Oliver. Charlie Zulu Oscar, member for 26 months, says facts. And Fat Steven, member for 13 months, the greatest YouTube artist out there, by the way, folks. He does all the thumbnails here. He is the best. Nobody in the biz comes close. He says, smash those likes. And then he smashes the expectations with 10 wonderful gifted memberships. Steven, you don't have to do that, man. It's our job to give to you for all the great things you do. Way to go, Steven. Thank you. You're the one who's out of this world.
You're the one who's out of this world, sweet baby. You're the one who's out of this world.
And finally, ladies and gentlemen, Teddy D is out there. I was trying to get to you, Teddy. I knew it was here. Teddy, 50 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you, Teddy. That is incredible. What a way to start. What a community.
Every time a membership is gifted, a content creator gets his wings.
Is that gendered language?
We're not at Magic Kingdom, Dad.
Oh, here we go. It's time to party. It's time to live it up.
Perfect. Wahoo!
All right, thank you again. And by the way, Andy joining us right now. Andy, welcome aboard, buddy. How you been?
Good evening. Would that be the Brian Stelter who is the star of the upcoming Toy Story 5?
Oh, my.
Well, one good spud deserves another. You know what they say.
All right, let's get to a few more of these super chats, folks. We are going to go to Patrick Ganaway for 5. It says, well, Lorne!
I get it.
It also says,
apologies to Cheers, as in Norm.
Yeah.
Right.
well, you know, Patrick Ganaway, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and I'm wearing milk bone underwear.
Well,
God,
stay
that
away
sounds
from poodles.
uncomfortable.
It does, doesn't it? All right. Wiener Dog Art. That's going to be it. Teddy D out there for 5. God bless our brave warfighters and pray for them. You
Absolutely.
Bet. You bet. All right. Now I've got a super chat that comes to us from Ken Reihart. And Ken is such a wonderful person. And I don't doubt Ken for a minute. But because I don't know if this info is supposed to be out there, and because I don't see one of our good friends out there in the chat who would let me know if it's okay to put this out there, Ken, I'm going to sit on this for just a little bit, okay? But I want to say that if there is someone out there who's one of our listeners who has gotten some bad news today, and our thoughts and prayers, and it hurts us when anybody that we care about is hurting, and we care about everybody who's viewing this channel. So bad news for one of you is bad news for us, flat out. So, but we're going to sit on that. We're going to sit on that for now, because I want to make sure that I don't overstep my grounds and move into a territory where I say something on the panel that wasn't hoped for. Okay.
It seems it's true. I looked.
Okay. All right.
It is confirmed. It confirmed himself.
All right. Ken Reihart for 2. I see Bruce Campbell has cancer. Not groovy. No, not groovy.
He
go ahead.
revealed, he said it's treatable but not curable, quote unquote.
That's right. That's right.
So,
okay. Well, I just want to make sure that he was the one who put that there, and this wasn't one of those TMZ snipe things.
Right,
I can't stand it when TMZ, it just bothers me so badly when TMZ does that and puts people's medical emergencies that they're not ready even for their family members. They haven't talked to the family members yet, Tennille the 10th for 5. I was promised that a Lou Church entry would include spontaneous combustion, but there was none. I feel conned. Lou is good with the divine. Let me tell you, everybody's got a sense of humor, and Lou does too, and that's just the way it is around here.
Sure.
What else are you going to do with it, right, Lou? All right, folks, we've got, man alive, this stuff we got to cover tonight is so interesting. The entire entertainment industry is changing. And at the same time that the entertainment industry is changing, we've got this conflict happening in the Middle East. We're going to be covering some of that tomorrow. I know some of you don't want us to cover that. We have to tomorrow because it turns out that this is going to affect Disney Abu Dhabi. I don't know if you know this, Wiz, but I guess they're sending everybody who was over there working on it back home. I don't know. I kind of thought this conflict was going to be over in a few days. Maybe not. Maybe not. So
yeah, it will be in a couple of weeks. But in the meantime, with missiles flying, it's better safe than sorry is why we're evacuating people.
Yep. But this is one of those times, folks, that you can know for sure that when we say no politics here, we don't do that. We stay in our lane. We only cover it when it intersects with entertainment. So today we covered celebrities' reactions to it, but we're not going to get in there and tell you what to believe about it. That's not my job. I see all kinds of people telling you what you should believe and opining and slamming you depending on which side of it you're on. That's not what we're going to do here, because this is a place where we cover entertainment and we have our opinions. We have our hopes. I think everybody here hopes that in the end that we get a Middle East that's more free, more representative of sober and noble people. But beyond that, we're not here to make you uncomfortable or have you say, "Oh man, I left the cable news to get over here to not have to listen to this." We'll cover it when we have to. We'll cover it as we should. But it's always going to be from the entertainment side of things. That's our job, folks. And we know there's a lot of political channels out there, and they do a great job. And we're not trying to take their role from them, because we're the best in the biz when it comes to covering showbiz and what's really going on in the Hallowed Halls of Hollyweird. And we'll stay right there, time and time again. All right, gentlemen, are we ready to rock and roll, as the kids are saying these days, with CNN going under the thumb of President Trump? You ready for that one?
Thumbs up.
All right. Thumbs down, Wiz. We got to put CNN down. Yeah. Andy, get back in here. StreamYard. It's going to be a day. It's going to be a day. It's going to be a night. All right, let's go. Why did Netflix walk away? Why did Netflix walk away? That's what they're asking on CNN. We'll get there. Hang tight. The Guardian by Margaret Sullivan says Trump just got much closer to bringing CNN to heel. It says, with David Ellison's Paramount Skydance poised to buy Warner Brothers Discovery, the president is tightening his grip on the U.S. media.
Yeah, sure he is.
Well, hang on, Lou. We got breaking news I think you're going to find very interesting. For many years, Donald Trump has trashed CNN and has taught his loyal followers to do the same because they're like Pavlov's dogs, according to who is this again? Miss Sullivan. What is Miss Sullivan's name? Margaret. Of course, it's Margaret. Margaret thinks you're all Pavlov's dogs if you're following the Orange Man. During the 2016 presidential campaign, angry chants of CNN sucks reverberated his campaign rallies, and he still jumps at every opportunity to disparage star CNN journalists such as Caitlin Collins. No, I think Scott Jennings is doing that okay. He charges, I just got his name in the next paragraph.
Yes.
He charges that the cable network is dishonest and biased against him, although in truth, the network goes out of its way to give voice to his lies. Oh, this is so unbiased.
Yeah, they go out of their way to
pundits.
have one guy out of what, 50?
Right.
Stand up for him. But that's out of their way. I mean,
but the reason we're choosing this article, Lou, is because I need everybody out there to hear this from the side that despises the Orange Godzilla, who can do no right, who can do no good. Folks, you need to understand the panic that's here. This is how they believe the world is about to work. But now, for Trump, a greater relief may be within his grasp. On Thursday, his rich and powerful friends at Paramount Skydance moved closer to acquiring CNN's parent company, Warner Brothers Discovery. It's not yet a done deal, and there are regulatory battles ahead. It's a done deal, and the regulatory battles won't matter, especially as state attorneys generals get involved. California's not going to stop this. But for Trump and his allies, the signs, they're encouraging. This is over. This is done. They're going to get it, okay? So the idea here is that because the Ellisons are somewhat centrist, that Trump owns CNN now. That's what they're trying to say, okay? Now, let me go to the breaking news, Lou, because this just came out. Are you ready for some breaking news? I bet you don't know this yet.
Always, I bet I don't.
I'm going to go to you, Lou, for this one, okay? This is breaking, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm poised on the edge of excitement here.
Okay. Well, we're excited to hear you be excited, Lou. That's a great time. All right, let's go now to CNN, because we love it when CNN covers this sort of thing. 55 minutes ago from Alejandra Jaramillo, Trump says he will attend the White House Correspondents' Dinner for the first time as president. We're now in, year 6 of opportunities to go to this, and now President Trump is going to go to the White House Correspondents' Dinner. That's the big thing where the journos get together, and they have a lot of fun ripping into the Republicans or worshiping the left, okay? That's what they do. President Donald Trump has said Monday he will attend this year's White House Correspondents' Dinner, a notable reversal after boycotting the annual event traditionally attended by presidents. Quote, the White House Correspondents Association has asked me very nicely to be the honoree at this year's dinner, a long and storied tradition since it began in 1924 under then-President Calvin Coolidge. The president said in a Truth Social post, added that in honor of the nation's 250th birthday, he will attend and work to make it the greatest, hottest, and most spectacular dinner of any kind ever. Trump was the first president to not attend the Correspondents' Dinner while in office, boycotting it during his first term and first year of his second. He has frequently criticized the event and the news media more broadly, at times labeling journalists the enemy of the American people, a sentiment he referenced in his Monday post. Lou, is this the case that now that CNN and CBS are no longer directly opposed to him? I mean, ABC and NBC, I guess, MS now, they're on the other side, but
of
he's
course,
winning.
The big question, and it may have been decided, but I haven't heard, who's going to be the allegedly comic host of this event? And what will they say in their monologue?
Well, I would say that President Trump, in order to agree, has had to negotiate that, because there's no way he's going to let Jimmy Kimmel come in there and do that.
Well, but see, under the theory of the best thing to do with these idiots is, quote unquote, let them speak, that might be in his favor to let it happen. To just let him ramble on and on and on, and he smiles and says, Jimmy, come on. Everybody's bored with that. And just cut it to the quick.
I'm going to bet he gets to take the stage. I bet he gets behind the mic. President Trump does not like to be at anything where he's not the focus of the attention, right?
Of course he gets to behind the mic. He gets a statement, a speech, whatever. But
so listen, I think he's feeling much.
He'll probably announced that he's decided to let the Washington Press Corps have an office in Greenland when we take over. Something that will make him crazy.
I think he's feeling empowered right now. I think this is the case. I think
so.
Let's go to how they feel at CNN. You ready for this? Folks, here is Jake Tapper with Brian Stelter, and here's the way that they're responding now, knowing that the Ellisons and Paramount Skydance are going to own and run CNN. And by the way, what that means is Barry Weiss is almost certainly going to run CNN in the newsrooms, because why would you not do this? I mean, it just makes financial sense. The newsrooms of CBS News and CNN are likely to combine. And I don't even know that CNN keeps its name. It probably does. It probably does. But, lots of things can change. Here's Jake Tapper and Brian Stelter getting together to talk about their new bosses.
Why did Netflix walk away? Ted Sarandos and others at Netflix made it very clear. They really wanted Warner Brothers Studios, and they really wanted HBO.
AKA, they really wanted us, right? Why did they walk away?
Right, in this corporate tug of war, it seems Netflix has suddenly let go of the rope. There's a lot, of course, that could still happen here, but the big news this afternoon is that Paramount suddenly is in a much stronger position to take over CNN and the rest of the Warner Bros. Discovery company, which includes HBO and the Warner Bros. Movie Studio and all those other assets. Paramount is the company that essentially put this into play last summer. New CEO David Ellison, shortly after taking over Paramount, CBS, that part of the media world, then set his sights on WBD. And WBD CEO David Zaslav started a bidding war as a result. He sided with Netflix. The WBD board sided with Netflix for a deal that had been struck back in December, but Paramount had then launched a hostile takeover bid.
Now, you all know the hostile takeover bid has been successful.
Isn't it funny? Isn't it funny how these people, well, of course it's us, CNN. Oh, and by the way, there's this movie studio called Warner Brothers and this HBO thing. He listed all those as if they were the subsidiaries and CNN was the core.
Because that's how they think they are.
Well, yeah, they probably think this song is about them, don't they? Don't they?
Well, they think that, yep. Checks out. So here's what we've got, guys. It looks like if CNN is moderated in the way that CBS News looks to be moderated, 60 Minutes also, same thing, which is under the CBS News label. You've got that happening. You've also got MS Now really suffering and failing under their new spinoff. You've got the situation where Fox, is just walloping everybody on cable. I think it now behooves ABC and NBC to follow this and try to moderate as well. I don't know how they can exist. They'll seem propagandistic if they don't come back towards the middle at least a little bit. And that means that a lot of these journalists, like at CNN, they've got to be friends with Barry Weiss. They got to be friends with the Ellisons because they have nowhere left to go. The Ellisons want to make this where CNN and CBS News appeal to 70% of the American people, the broad majority, the mainstream middle, the sensible center. Well, that is not how CNN is currently constituted at all. So who's going to go, guys? And what's going to happen here? Do they all play? Do they figure out how to moderate Wiz?
I don't know. I don't see a world where CNN comes to center at all. I see them moving further and further in the direction that they're already going. I don't know what they're going to have to do. And to some extent, I don't think the Ellisons are going to want to tame that because it's interesting to you could harness it in the same way that they have Jennings coming on and he's playing the heel and that's drawing attention to CNN, right? There is a political pull that they could still use for their gain. I just don't know what the playbook is yet, but don't count them out. Don't count out CNN as going to the center just yet, because South Park is a big example here. South Park's a big example. Everybody that is parading around on social media saying that the Ellisons are super MAGA Republicans. Really? They gave the South Park boys quite a bit of money. And the most recent season of South Park, every episode is a Trump TDS Orange Man bad episode. It's the worst South Park has ever been. So for anybody to say that the Ellisons are purely, MAGA Republicans, red hat wearing Republicans, that's just not true. These are business guys. They care about business first and foremost. Whether they're good at it or not, it remains to be seen. There's a lot of things I'm not happy with about their leadership, their leadership practices. But I think they're going to find a way to use polarization as a weapon to make money. That's what I'm waiting to figure out.
So Liz, let me get this straight from you. You don't think that moving to the middle in the news is a winner financially. You think that actually living on the edges is the sensationalism that keeps the most ardent supporters coming back and back and back and back, and that's the way the system works. And it's not necessarily because of What should we say here? It's not because this is some sort of conspiracy that came out in the news organizations to drive politics. It's the manifestation of economics.
I fully believe moving CBS to center is a strategy to play to center, but they have 2 news studios now. They don't need everything to go to center. They can appeal CNN to the fringe that it's already appealing to. Why would you change that when you know you already have a guaranteed built-in CNN audience? If anything, cut the budgets, figure out where the fat is in CNN, trim it out, and then weaponize that to continue pandering to the fringes.
Well, the only problem is the ratings are low. So the CNN ratings and MS Now ratings are just not fantastic.
You can keep them low if you're not paying a fortune to keep all those people hired.
Well, that's
everything we're seeing with MS Now, right? We know that they were cutting budgets and they're
Sure.
laying people off and trimming the fat on that company just to keep it alive. I could see the same thing happening with CNN.
Well, and when you talk about cutting, it's the same thing as the Warner Brothers studio and the Paramount studio. In that, what you're going to cut is not so much creative and not so much talent up front, but all of the duplicative functions of marketing and administration. And so it will be interesting to see if the same people who sold ads for CNN can sell ads for CBS, can sell ads for, you see what I mean? But to your point, I remember many, many years ago when Virginia Slims cigarettes came out. And everybody said, what are you, nuts? You're going after women? Women at that time were only 30% of all smokers. And the guy who started it said, yeah, but if I get all 30%. So it's a chunk. It's definitely there. Now I am, without any foundation for what I'm about to say, no insider knowledge, just my conspiratorial mind. I have to think to some degree, the reason why Sarandos and company backed off was the State of the Union. Because I think logical, sensible people, as opposed to pure ideologues, looked at that State of the Union and getting everybody to stay seated in those ways. They said, you know what? The midterms are over. We just lost. So why stick around and suffer? Let's get out, regroup, and figure out what we're going to do next. And in the process, all of the wackos that got us into this mess will shrivel and go away.
Well, now,
so that, that's just my crazy conspiracy theory. You may have yours, and you are entitled to it.
To add to that, there's reporting out there that a liaison from the Trump administration, high-ranking Republican, went to Netflix to go meet with Sarandos prior to this going down the way it did, and that the liaison went into the executive restrooms in the executive suite and found feminine hygiene products in the men's.
Yes.
And came back and said, what is this? You guys want to present yourselves as if this is crazy. This is crazy. So I'll put this back up on the screen real quick. We had it up for a second. I'm not trying to discount what you're saying, Wiz, at all. But I do want to say that Charlie Gasparino's reporting, whether right or wrong for the CNN staffers, and maybe they just panic and freak out at everything, but they're in a panic. They're in a panic, and they're freaking out because they're worried that their lives are going to change, their careers are over. Says CNN staffers are freaking out after learning that their left-leaning network's owner, Warner Brothers Discovery, will be acquired by Paramount Skydance. Top talent and low-level producers alike are apoplectic that CNN is being acquired by Paramount Skydance, the media giant that scooped up CBS last year, which tapped a 41-year-old news hound, Barry Wise, to root out liberal bias in the network. Now, CNN staffers are so panicked that the network's president, Mark Thompson, was forced to send out a memo late Thursday to tamp down the anxiety. The merger still requires a green light from Trump's Department of Justice. We know that's going to happen, among other regulatory approvals. Okay, there's Barry Wise. And how bad is it, folks? How bad is it? And again, not discounting you, Wiz. I just want, they could freak out even if there is no danger to them. You might be right.
And they rightfully would. Well, there is danger to them because there is a lot of, the word I'm using is fat, whether that's politically correct or not, but there's a lot of bloat inside of this company that is not being managed
duplicative functions that don't need two people.
Yes,
need
exactly.
One.
So
when I was negotiating contracts and we had the year that NBC and Universal merged, and here was an HR person from NBC and an HR person from Universal, and they were both sitting there looking at each other saying, one of us won't be here next time. And that's the kind of fat that we're talking about, is you just don't need 2 or 3 or 4 people in the same job.
Now, the Ellisons are viewed as being centrist. They may be, they may not be. They may just be shrewd businessmen. But John Oliver over on Comedy Central says, how the blank do I get out of here? Like, this is the way they're feeling. I mean, the little gray rain cloud that is over CNN and Comedy Central, you know, they're unhappy. They're dissuaded. They're depressed. Andy, what do you think about this? Which way does this go? Is Wiz right? Is everything going to be all right? Is this going to move to a different direction? Does Barry Weiss come in and take charge and make it an extension, an arm of CBS News? What's going to happen here, Andy?
Everything has shifted for years. Like, there's been a stranglehold. Everything has shifted to the left. And now I think there's a course correction. I think the general public, I wouldn't say that they're going to the right according to what the mainstream thinks is right, but it's more of a course correction. They've been led down this alleyway, and then you find out that at the back of the alley there's like some crack whores down there with diseases jumping off them, and they're like, "This is
Andy. We're not talking about MS Now right now, okay? Well, we said no discussions of MS Now.
Sorry, I got confused with the View. But I think that the country has, like, you're going to have to moderate a little bit because your audience for that far left thing is going to keep shrinking. I think that people are looking at these people now like you're completely out of your mind. They're what used to be considered just a few years ago. People were being convinced into doing very drastic, radical things to people. And it became sort of mainstream. It became all, and then like people sobered up. They looked at, oh, wow, this is really not a good look. And then the medical evidence comes in.
Andy, are you talking about the altering of the human body, especially for those who need to be told to still brush their teeth because they haven't been around for quite as long as the grown-ups?
There's that. There's also the thing with the virus of unconfirmed origin, with all the experts saying one thing, and then you come to find out that it's they've been caught with egg on their face for so long. We've created a good, healthy distrust of news and government in people. And I think more and more people are adopting this because it's so in your face. Everything that they've predicted to come true has not come true. In fact, in many cases, it's exactly the opposite. And now you're looking at this thing, you're going to get a dwindling viewership for these things. Now, is there going to be enough scraps for CNN and MSNBC to fight over? However long MSNBC sticks around until like they become like the dinosaur that they are and go extinct, they're fighting over the scraps that are falling on the floor. I don't know that there's enough of an appetite there in the public to digest all of that. I think that they're going to have to moderate a little bit because everybody's going to have to moderate a little bit. You saw this with for years, Fox was the right wing thing, but even Fox wasn't that right wing. You had to go to you would have to go to Rush Limbaugh to get a really right leaning thing. And
Fox was the establishment, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. But I think that the general audience, I mean, outside of now, I think that the people that work at CNN they've drank so much of the Kool-Aid, and they think that they are the mind and the conscience of the people. They don't understand that they're fringe, that they're out there with some really weird ideas because they're in this echo chamber. What they see as moderation, or what we see as moderation, they would see as like a betrayal of their core values. I think you will have to change a lot of the leadership and a lot of the people. I would not be surprised if a lot of these people jump ship because of their ideological standpoints. I think that you're going to have a lot of these personalities on there that are going to be like, you know what, forget this. Scott Jennings was bad enough. I'm not going to be working with people like this.
There's one more factor. I wonder how many of the people that work at, let's say, CNN, but we could say it about the others, really in their heart know that they got the job because of their sexual orientation, politics, color of their skin, whatever, and not because they were particularly competent at it. And frankly, they haven't gotten any better at it from working there because they haven't had to, because the standard for keeping your job had become even less because, God forbid, you fire anybody who's the right kind of person. That's what they might be smelling, is that, oh my God, I'm actually going to have to produce and perform, and I can't. And therefore, what do I do? It might be that a certain amount of self-awareness, or at least awareness on a practical rubber hits the road employment basis, is reaching these people. I don't give them all up as hopeless, but they are hopeless.
Lorna, I need you to not tell these other guys something, okay? Lorna, I've saved the most fun topic for you. All right, I don't need them to know that. Just keep it between me and you. Lauren, you remember all those calls for Scott Jennings to be fired? And you remember the panelists who stood their ground and said, I may never be back on CNN again, but by golly, he's got to go. And if he doesn't, I'm going to boycott him. You'll never get me again. I'm going to say that was bad timing for them, Lauren. I'm going to say that was really, really bad timing. They're not great at picking out the time to say, I hate Scott Jennings and I won't go back on CNN. Not going to work out.
Well, Scott's secure because that's the draw. You've got to have some fireworks at the panel, and that's where they're getting it. You know, he's the foil to the rest of the group, and he's taking them all on at the same time. That's what draws in a viewer, is the conflict. On the other topics, I've got, I think, 3 points that I want to make, and I'll make them really quick. The Correspondents' Dinner, that is Trump's extension of the State of the Union. That is him going up there and saying, now, this is actually somewhat a risky strategy if something does go wrong in Iran. But if it doesn't, if the operation is concluded with all of the objectives satisfied and the relatively low loss of life, then he'll be able to get up there and they can try and tear him down. But it's going to make them look ridiculous, just like it did with everybody sitting down at the State of the Union address. The second point I would make is that if you think that the midterms are locked up, I've got a big surprise for you, because I think Trump's got a lot of things that he can say are positives, but in general, people are looking at the economy. They're not paying attention to foreign affairs. And while those foreign affairs will be to the advantage of the economy, that's later. People are feeling what they're feeling now, and I have a feeling he's going to be punished for it.
Also, Lauren, I'm not. Hang on, your points are too good. I had something I wanted to say on the first point, but let's just move to the second. Lauren, on the second point, it's not just the economy; it's also the Save America Act, and I'm being careful. I don't want to be political. That's not my job, but just recognizing what this means for entertainment and for the news organizations and all that, and they're owned by the entertainment companies. If President Trump does not get the Save America Act through, which is the voter ID system, it doesn't even matter. None of this stuff matters. It's over. It's over. So
that's
bigly.
We'll talk about that later. The third point that I want to make is that I mostly agree with Fake Wizard. I think he's right on the money with the fact that I'm not sure that it's possible to clear out all of the people that you need to clear out at CNN. And if you can't do that, then it does make sense to continue to use that as the foil potentially to your other station. As he said, if you've got CBS and they're the moderate wing, and you've got CNN, which can be them fighting with each other. One of my favorite stories I ever read was about this town that had a rivalry between two auto dealers. One was a Ford dealer and the other was a Chevy dealer, and they had this thing where they had the signs out front that they were kind of in a sign war with each other, and their sales staff constantly trashed the guy across the street for being dishonest and all of this stuff. And then it turns out that when the guy who owned the businesses, he owned them both, passed away, it came out that they both belonged to him. And you know, everybody had a good laugh about it. It allowed everybody got to feel loyal to their brand, but it was like, God, don't do business with that guy. That guy's just a charlatan. You know, it lets them talk it up. You feel brand loyalty. It makes you more amenable to purchasing from somebody that you agree with. It lets you jack up the price a little bit because you feel good about doing business with these people. That's smart strategy. And I would also add, if that is the strategy they're going to go with, what I would be looking at is, if the people at CNN are feeling vulnerable, I'd start dangling a bunch of carrots in front of the people that are at MS Now, because MS Now is going to evaporate either way. So you start trying to headhunt those people and bring them into the organization, and then you've got competition within CNN. They're going to work harder to keep their jobs for less.
Lauren, are you trying to suggest we put Wolf Blitzer and Rachel Maddow together with Jake Tapper and Jen Psaki?
I'm just saying you've got to be shrewd when you're figuring out how
Avengers
these
team up.
We may not save CNN, but we will avenge it.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, that's my points.
All right.
Can somebody out there with the AI skills make Jack Sparrow with some shrunken heads like Rachel Maddow and Jake Tapper?
Oh my. Oh my. Hey, last question for the panel. We brought this up briefly. Does this put pressure on ABC and NBC to moderate? I don't think Disney's going to do that. I think Dana Walden is completely committed to the politics of it, but NBC might. They might.
It depends. I think it all depends on what the reaction is to what the changes are. And if they start taking market share, that forces a rethink.
Well,
I also think it has to do with the midterms, how the midterms turn out and how any elections moving forward turn out.
Oh, if the midterms don't go the way of the Republicans, it's blood in the water. And the backlash is about to be, it will be a tsunami of vengeance from the news media and from the corporations.
But that will also lead to a counter backlash. It's going to be chaos at that point. If you think that we're in technically a Cold War period right now, it's like if both sides feel that they have been done wrong and we go to vengeance politics, it becomes an all sides firing on each other kind of thing.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me. All right, folks, you know we have a lot to say, but we care about what you have to say, seen, appreciated, and heard, and it's time to put you on the screen. Here we go, Cyrano for 5. Sorry, conflict was created by Netflix to make Paramount pay. Sarcasm. Well, you know, there was at the end, I believe the Ellisons were saying to Warner Brothers, hey, we need clarification. We need to know that you're not working with Netflix to throw up these cheap, offers that aren't going to happen, and you know it, and you just raise the price on us. So we need transparency there. Tender Warrior dropping 5 pro memberships. Thank you, Tender Warrior. We do appreciate you and the very kind gesture here, bringing more into the club. Green Tender Warrior, this one's for you. We're going to Cyrano again for 5. Paramount stated to Netflix, and I quote, "I'm going to steal your girl." And they did. Snarky the Stink Nugget for $4.99. Sorry, I've been missing, working hard, and bought the kid a beetle, a bug, a blue punch buggy. I love this car. No stranger am I to Volkswagen. Well, congratulations, Snarky, and I hope it's driven safely and taken care of. What a great gift to give to the kid. And no worries on being missing for a few days. Although I got to say, on that game place, we're ready for the snark skills to be back again, playing side by side. Archer Merchant for 2. All these wins are exposing opposing extremists. Well, that's a very well enunciated super chat. Thank you, sir. Article 2, Section 4 for $1.99. Mentalist Oz Perlman is the White House Correspondents Association pick. Oz Perlman. Lauren, look up, see if you know anything about Oz Perlman. I don't know anything about that. Mentalist Oz Perlman? That's who?
Well, he's going to be the host, you mean?
Boy, what a name. What a name. Glad I've never heard of him. Archer Merchant for 2. They came for the kids. It woke many parents up. Yes, it woke parents up to what woke is, and they didn't like it very much. Going to Kaylee for 5. Conspiracy theory. The Fringe used Netflix to remake The Left by expelling a large core to form up as a replacement organization for Blue Sky audience. Oh, now that's out there, Kaleoth. I'd have to think more on that. I can tell you that Netflix was highly engaged with the Obamas post-Obama presidency, as well as the monarchy of the UK with Harry and Meghan Markle trying to make inroads there. Beyond that, I can't comment just quite yet. Let me think about that one. We've got Article 2, Section 4 for $1.99. Iran coerces some modifications to the human body as a way to hide those of a different bedroom persuasion. Doing the dance, folks. We're doing the dance here. YouTube loves us because we're safe that way. Patrick Getaway for 5. Lou, maybe the drones at CNN don't want to be productive.
Maybe they don't know what productive is.
Never been. And finally, Snarky Distinct Nugget for $4.99. Comprehensive, critical thought and discussion. Bravo, panel. Well, we're just happy you're here, Snarky. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have been, we were dancing right at 1,000 in the last segment. We're happy to have every single one of you out there. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, well, just know we're working hard every show to earn it from you. And speaking of that, this guy up above me, Fake Wizard. Fake Wizard, I complimented you on a smaller stream earlier this week, but it behooves me to say it again. Sir, you topped 80K. We just did 75K. I messaged you the other day, was like, hey, do you need me on this 75K celebration stream? And then it was like days later, it was 80. What are you doing?
We're working really hard. We're
this
trying.
Even legal?
I hope so. But we have some great days. We have some incredible days. And then it's the YouTube game. Some days it is like, they turned the nozzle off. So I don't know.
One of the ways was, this is into the weeds for all of you out there who are interested in the YouTube game. Wiz, one of the ways, and you know this, I'm sure, but one of the ways you can know they turned the nozzle off is if you look at the stats and you say, okay, what's my click rate? All right, what's my duration? Okay, it's better today than it was yesterday. And yesterday you gave me this many views, and today you took all the impressions away, you took all the notifications away. Why'd you do that, YouTube? And who knows, right? Who knows?
Right.
Because it's all being done by AI at this point anyway. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about more Paramount Skydance stuff. And why? Why? Because it turns out that Disney and Netflix, they got something to fear here. And that is, we're about to get a huge streaming service combined together. The announcement is out there. It's merger time. Let's talk about it right now. Folks, we've got a merger. It's about to happen. Paramount has revealed new details about what they're going to do with Warner Brothers. Here's what we've got out of Discussing Film. HBO Max and Paramount Plus will be combined into one single service. We're going to come back to that in just a second. Hang tight. 15 films per studio with 45-day theatrical windows for each film. Now, what I don't know about this is, what are we calling the studios here? Like, I don't know, is Skydance a studio and Paramount is a studio and Warner Brothers? I don't know what this is. I'm assuming it's 30. I'm assuming that we're merging and we're going to say we're going to do 30 films, with 45-day theatrical windows.
If we read the new paint on the water tower, right, it says Paramount, a Skydance company.
Well, it's difficult. Surely, Lou, they wouldn't do 45. Surely.
Why not? If they last. 45 if they're worth it, 45 if the audience keeps coming for 45.
I mean, they'll make Disney look like small potatoes if they're making 45 films for 45-day theatrical windows. I mean, they'll be everywhere.
Excuse me, pro, you got to be careful. That's Disney's small potatoes.
True that.
Coming soon from Pixar, I don't know.
Purple potatoes. Merged company will have approximately $79 billion in debt. That's a big problem. But we'll come back to that again. $6 billion in cost cutting, including consolidating on tech infrastructure, real estate, corporate overheads, and more. No plans to sell off the spin-off any of their cable assets. Flexibility to put sports like UFC on any cable network. They're going to continue to license movies and TV shows to other studios and platforms. And this is big too. They're going with the Disney language here. AI will be a, quote, tool for artists, unquote, and everybody's an artist, but, quote, never a replacement for storytellers. So AI, they're not going to hand over AI to ritualize and, synthesize making stories, but they'll do it for everything else. But here's what I want to go to, this HBO Max and Paramount Plus combination. Single service. What does that mean? Well, let's go to Nielsen to find out what that means, okay? This is the Nielsen gauge, and you can see that now streaming makes up 47% of all TV usage. The 10.3% we believe to be video games. So between streaming and video games, that's the majority of TV usage. Now, if we go over here to look at the various platforms, everything that Disney has put together is 4.9%. That's Disney Plus, that's Hulu, that's ESPN Plus, and I don't know, anything else Disney might have. And if we go down, we can see that Paramount is, everything Paramount has, right? 2.3%. That's very small compared to Disney. But they're adding in now Warner Brothers Discovery and everything they have, which I believe includes HBO Max, right? So 1.4 combined with 2.3 gets us to 3.7%. That's not even as big yet as Prime Video, but it will put this in the top 5. This will be now a top 5 player.
Well, now one caveat to that is I saw a story today that said that approximately 25% of HBO Max's people also pay for or have Paramount Plus.
That is true. And I'll say this. So you can reduce
the amount of overlap that's going to happen.
Right. The Venn diagram has overlap. Okay, but here's the other thing about that. When Disney merged Hulu with their service, it was something like 50%. So it will be a substantial increase, but it will not get it into the ballpark quite yet with Disney Plus, with Netflix. But if they play their cards right here, if they put stuff on that matters and people are interested in, they have momentum, I think, with whatever they do. And I don't know what the new thing's going to be named. I don't know, if it's going to be 2 services under the same umbrella, but they keep HBO in name and they keep Paramount in name and all that. I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't care. I just know that now there's more competition at the top than there was before this happened. So, Wiz, I'll go to you first on this one. Your thoughts on the streaming landscape, how this shifts, how this changes. And if you got thoughts too in the box office, 45 movies, I have a hard... You think so?
I think this whole thing is extremely fascinating. So first and foremost, the Hulu merge with Disney, normal folks are still confused about it. They're still confused about it. There's still 2 apps on some TVs. It's a mess. What they need to do is make this so crystal clear that these are now merged. They're not available anymore. Or if you click on it, it redirects to the Amazon store. If you're using a Fire TV, you're downloading the new app. It's all got to be centralized. It's got to be so easy a caveman can do it. So I'm optimistic that that's the direction they're going in. Whether it's called Super Paramount Plus or whatever it is, they need to make this thing great. It has to be a really good app with no problems.
Oh my gosh!
You will get people.
Wiz, they need to pay you, sir. You've just come across the greatest name in the history of streaming. Super Paramount Bros.
Super Paramount Bros. That's right. Yes. Or Paramount Plus 2. You know.
do they yell Netflix bunga when they attack?
Not the Ninja Turtles. We're going with a big wahoo when they win. Yeah.
Yes. Wahoo.
I think the 15 films per studio is fascinating. That's a lot. That's a lot of films. And can they hit the quality on that? With the amount of money that they're spending here on acquisition, they have to deliver quality. And that's something that I don't think the Ellisons have been able to do yet. Granted, they haven't been in the hot seats for very long, so we haven't really seen what they can produce just yet. But they have to start making some pretty strong decisions. They have to start telling people to deliver. And that's something we haven't seen them do yet. So I don't know if they can hit that mark, the 45-day window thing. It's not going to matter. You could put it in there for 60 days, 80 days. It won't matter if the movies are bad. So you could, like Disney. Disney has their movies playing for quite a long time, and a lot of times people don't care to go see them because they're not good. So the theatrical window doesn't matter as much for someone like me anymore because the movies going in there aren't that great. You put in good movies, people are going to go back to theaters. However, when you look at the convenience that streaming has produced and the amount of money that like we look at the debt, you need to get people to sign up for your streaming services, and you need to do that sooner than later. So that like they got to crank out an app. It's got to be really good. And you have to market almost against being better than Disney in a way without saying you're better than Disney. So I don't know how they're going to do that, but I'm looking forward to seeing the actual marketing strategies they have.
And you have to assume they've been working on this already. I don't think this is the kind of management in the Ellisons that says, well, once the deal's done, we can start thinking about the app. They're working on it. It's in the works already.
I have a lot of doubts with the Ellisons.
Okay.
I have a lot of doubts, but I'm optimistic as you are, Lou. I am optimistic.
With the 45 that they're saying they're going to do, I guess, maybe 30, maybe 45, the number of films they're planning to do theatrical releases for, is that because they know that the cost of making a movie is about to be deflated tremendously by AI? And is that why they've got that at the bottom to reassure folks this is how we're going to do it? I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out, the amount of money that would need to be spent on 45 films, unless they're looking at it and saying, you know what, the cost of special effects is nothing in a year or 2 years or whatever.
30 films, 45-day release window.
But Lauren, are you assured of that? Have you looked that up somewhere? Because what we were saying is, what if Skydance is one, Paramount's one, and Warner Brothers is one?
I think it's all going to be either Paramount or Warner's 15 each.
Okay. So 30 total.
The problem
is their goal,
the AI,
they have said.
If they're hedging the bet here that AI is going to revolutionize film and things are going to be reduced in price, the cost of creating in Hollywood is going to be reduced. The problem with that is we don't know when AI is going to be ready for theatrical run. People still feel very passionately about not seeing AI creations, though we see everything every day on Twitter coming from C-Dance and from the ByteDance company that people are interested in what AI can create, but it's still not good enough yet. So it depends, I think, on where they're planning on using the AI. But if really that's what the Ellison's plan is to use AI as leverage to reinvent the production schedules of Hollywood, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what this world looks like after that. Hollywood and all these actors who think who they are and every other, now they got people making fun of people with Tourette's, like they lose their power. Everybody in Hollywood that thinks who they are loses all the power they have because now anybody could make something. That's the slippery slope.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting how that's going to play out.
Hey, Andy, could you put your hand out towards your cam and just bring it back slowly? Bring it back slowly. Hey, Cam, there's Andy. You see him? That's better. Now Andy, I can see clearly now, and I can also see clearly that people need to understand just what a behemoth this would be if that's how many films they put out. The Walt Disney Company last year put out a grand total of 12 theatrical releases. Captain America Brave New World, Thunderbolts, The Fantastic Four First Steps, Elio, Zootopia, Snow White, Lilo and Stitch, Freakier Friday, Tron Ares, The Amateur, Predator, Badlands, Avatar, Fire and Ash. I think there are some other minor theatrical releases that may have come through teeny weeny itsy bitsy studios from Disney or partnered up with Disney, but 12 from Disney proper. Andy, we're talking about easily more than double that as the goal for Paramount. They're playing with this merger to be the biggest media company. Take away the theme parks, take away the CapEx expenditures and cruise lines. That's a separate thing. Just in terms of media, they're playing to be the biggest company out there in a year.
Well, you have an audience, though. We're going into uncharted territory here where there's so many people that a younger generation who is not in love with the theater experience, who walk around with their faces glued to a screen all day and they pick out their streaming shows. And I'm wondering what damage Paramount losing Taylor Sheridan is going to do to their loyal fan base there, because he's got quite a few shows on Paramount that have very loyal followings. The 45-day window, how many people will actually go see a movie multiple times? There used to be some level of predictability to that. There used to be an audience that you could count on to go see a good movie several times. That's how Marvel made their fortune with it. Now, if the audience has changed enough and you produce that many, you could be losing an awful lot of money. I would like to see that happen, but as Lou kind of pointed out a few weeks ago, he was talking about the dearth of talent. Is there enough talent to make that many films and to have them be of any quality that people actually want to go see them?
Well, beyond that, the question is, if we talk about 2 or 3 major budgets, 2 or 3 mediums, and a couple of smalls, at what point do the smalls work better on streaming than they do in the theater? I think the audience, rightly or wrongly, has been educated to think of, I don't know, rom-coms and things as being about the Hallmark Channel, not about a night at the movies. And so the lower budget, less stars, less expense, less marketing at a certain point, it doesn't pay to put it in the theaters, as opposed to making it you should pardon the expression, a hallmark of your streaming service. So that's going to be something everybody's going to have to learn on the job, because nobody knows. Nobody knows.
Lauren, at the end of the day, Netflix did not pull this one off. And I just wonder what the cost is to Netflix. We know they're not going to have to pay for it. Then we know their investors are excited about them not winning this thing. But if Paramount Skydance Bros is now a huge competitor to Netflix, and they grow to the point they're on par with them, then maybe this was misplayed by Netflix. I don't know. Do you see them as major competitors now, or is Netflix as a solely streaming service something entirely different?
Remains to be seen. If the Ellisons are successful in putting out quality movies that people want to go see, then they might become a contender. But there's a lot of ifs in that statement. We don't know. I think right now Netflix was probably wise to let this go and let their stock try and recover. But I think we're going to have to wait to see what the output of this new entity is before we can make any judgments.
Yeah, yep. Lots of things still to be seen, folks. Lots of things still to be seen. It's obscene how big this company is going to be when it comes to IPs and brands. If the age of AI means you're making licensing royalty fees and you're raking in the cash just based on the characters you have, I'm not sure there's anybody bigger. They may have more stuff than Disney when you consider Looney Tunes and DC and Harry Potter and all this stuff that they can license out.
I would say more stuff that is immediately exploitable. Yeah. Disney has a whole bunch of stuff that they bought with Fox that they've done diddly squat with, and that's really, really, really been amazing to me.
You know what I'm curious about, and it's probably too late for this to happen, but everybody knows what is a big issue with Warner Brothers right now is they've got a potential gold mine there with the Harry Potter series, but they shot themselves in the foot with the controversial casting.
Yep.
And I'm wondering, is it too late for Paramount to step in before this thing airs and say, you know what, we're going to delay this a year. We're going to do some recasting. We're going to take this fellow that we cast as Severus Snape. We're going to make him Kingsley Shacklebolt and give him like a prominent piece in this and take it from there. Would that happen in anybody's reality?
All right, so theoretically, because I know Wiz is about to leap all over this. I mean, Bulldog sees pork chop. Theoretically, they could, so long as J.K. Rowling agrees to it. But pragmatically, Wizard's about to unleash the fury of a Starfleet Academy watcher who has realized that sometimes things don't go the way that we think they should. Go ahead, Wiz. Rip it apart.
The Ellisons aren't going to do it. we may want them to, and we think that they should, but they're just not going to do it because they let Starfleet Academy go to air. I actually did the research on this. So Star Trek Starfleet Academy, if they were to try to buy out of the contract and pay off everybody. Now, mind you, they acquired it, and season 1 costs around $400 million for this show. But that they could get as a write-off. And then on top of that, for them to make this show go away and pay everybody off and appeal to all of the guilds and everything and do it right, it would only be around $150 million. So that means you get a $400 million write-off. You save Star Trek, which is valued at what, $10 billion in total revenue earned in lifetime, and you get to make Starfleet Academy go away. So it would only be $150 million.
Pocket
if they
change.
couldn't do that, then there's not a shot that they're gonna save this Harry Potter show. I think Harry Potter is just going to become something that repeats over and over. And I almost see this Harry Potter show as the stepping stone for Disney to redo Star Wars. If this Harry Potter show works, it shows that we could just keep repeating over and over and over major franchises. And Star Wars is next, my friend.
Look at the face of enthusiasm from Lauren Connor.
Harry Potter 2, The Wrath of Dumbledore. I don't know.
There are some things that I think even they are not stupid enough to do. It's like
I don't know, Lauren.
I mean, that is the apex.
If there was ever a hold my beer statement, that's it.
Don't tempt them with a good time.
Hold my.
Get in here, Andy. What were you saying before we accidentally cut you off?
Hold my White Claw.
Have you guys know the story I did recently on the pink milk? Do you know about that?
Yeah.
Vegan pink milk. So they got rid of the green milk because nobody was buying it at Disney parks. They replaced it with pink milk. Yeah. Fake Wizard, do you know what pink milk refers to if you Google it? Do you know what that is?
I'm afraid to find out.
Don't look.
When you said pink milk, the last thing I thought it was going to be a reference to Star Wars.
Yeah.
You thought what I thought at first, which was Pepto-Bismol. But,
something gross like that.
I also looked up the ingredients for this stuff. And it's no wonder it's disgusting. It was unsweetened, light coconut milk combined with 1.5 bananas, a cup of ice, and a tablespoon of maple syrup.
Yeah, that's not what comes up when I Googled pink milk, just so you
know. It pairs so well with blue waffle.
Pink milk is there are magical times in our lives. There are firsts that really matter. And the first time that a lady nurses a child, I'm sure is just, well, it's probably painful because pink milk comes from that experience, folks. You don't need to know anymore. If you're a lady, you already know. And if you're a guy, go ask a lady and they'll look at you and say, see, it's not easy being a woman. It's just not. We go through things. God bless the ladies out there. John Maynor for 20. Here's to the continued funding of the Firefly watch party that I proposed earlier. Yeah, we're thinking about doing that. Also, I know that we're going to be doing The Gate on Lauren and Apollo. We're going to get that scheduled for this month, Lauren. We're going to get The Gate watch party for Packing Protons. And then we have been requested to do a live out of the theater review of Project Hail Mary. We're going to do that, as well as, I suppose this week, we're going to do Hoppers, or Hopper, whatever, the beaver,
Oh, we are doing Hoppers.
Yeah, and the girl, she turns herself into a beaver and walks around and talks around and, Andy, thank you. It's best we all just stop right there. Leave the beaver alone. Patrick Getaway for 5. Expect other media companies to start merging and acquiring smaller media companies. I would say that's happening right now. Anthony for 50 crowns. I subscribe to the Ghost Podcast, Lose Views. Great content and cheap. It's a super value.
Well, thank you. And 2 new episodes went up in the last week. One of them all about AI and why I believe it will never replace human creativity.
So, I don't think anybody on the panel thinks it's going to replace. I think that it's going to.
Lots of people in the business do.
Yes, I think true artists who embrace it are going to have more power at their fingertips than it has been imaginable. That's what I think. But I can't wait to hear what you have to say, Lou, on Lou's Views. Give us one more topic that you've covered on Lou's Views.
Oh, golly. The other one I did this week was about politics and about standing up or sitting down at the State of the Union and what that means. And I think you'll find a different kind of take on it from me, or at least different than what you can find mostly out there. And then, of course, we keep promising we haven't been able to deliver because of varying schedules and illnesses and what have you. But soon, we promise, Culture and I are going to do a wine show, and maybe more than one, probably more than one. So stay tuned. And if you like that kind of stuff and all the other things that I do on there, go take a look, share it with your friends, collect them, mix them, match them, share them with your friends, as they say. And I hope for $5 a month you find it genuinely useful.
I bet they will. All will, I'm sure. Folks, get over there and subscribe to Lou's Views on the Patreon. Kaylee for 5. 15 films a year per studio is not impossible. I imagine 2 to 3 large, 3 to 5 medium, and the rest small budgets. What matters is driving audiences into theaters.
But see, that goes back to what I said about, well, if it's small, should it be on the small screen or the big one? And what do the audience expect? In other words, if it's the greatest rom-com in the history of the world with a couple of B-list good actors, are they going to leave the theater saying, I got to tell all my friends, or are they going to leave the theater saying, that was great, but I watched something similar on X channel last night. I think I'll wait for the next one. So that's a marketing decision that's going to be an interesting conundrum to solve.
We just don't need Geely 2. Leave it alone.
Geely 2.
Sean, formerly John, for $199. Pro forgot Ella McKay. Disney has covered it up. Yeah, it's so easy to forget that. The AOC-inspired film that did nada, nothing, zilch. Ouch. Yeah, Ella McKay.
AOC.
Easy to forget.
God.
Steve's former goldfish. Do you all know this reference? Look, they've even got an avatar. Lauren, do you know this reference?
Oh my gosh, really? I do know this one.
Steve, also known as Floral, who puppeteers Wilton, has revealed that in his younger days as a youth pastor,
this one. Oh.
he had his the kids at the church drink a live goldfish, and now it's become maybe this is Lauren's non-AI bald spot renamed. I don't know.
It is.
That's funny.
It really is. I love this guy. This guy's great.
Everybody who heard that said, I wonder what the youth pastor at my church is doing. I better look into this.
Steve's former goldfish for $1.99, the artist formerly known as Lauren's non-AI bald spot. LW isn't the only ghost now, said the fish. I'm just glad that Steve is, still practicing as a pastor and not arrested. Anyway, and the statute of limitations probably has run out on that one. Yeah. Folks, let's continue running. I see Culture Casino out there.
Oh, really?
He says they made some garbage, but is it Hopper's garbage? Culture, you haven't seen the movie yet. You don't even know if it's garbage. Don't pretend you can't be cranky yet. You haven't seen it.
Yeah. I published on our back channels the first review I've seen, which is, I think, from Hollywood Reporter. And it is a glowing, raving review that smells desperate. It just is. It has this air of, honest, it's good. It's really, really good. Really, it's just so good. It's open up. And you go like, if it's that good, methinks thou dost protest too much. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right. We'll go check out The Beaver in just a few days. Thursday
evening,
folks.
All I'm saying is I'm worried about The Beaver. That's it.
Thursday evening, folks. More Beaver. More. Just get me out of this. All right, here we go. Geeksandgamers.com. That's where we be. And what's the news? Well, take a look, folks. Let's see. Out of Marvin Montanaro. Is James Gunn quitting DC? John Campea is 100% sure. Well, that sounds like confirmation, eh? The director will leave and could return to Marvel. Oh, this is just the kind of rumor we're going to cover. Is James Gunn quitting DC? That idea has appeared on the horizon and has once more been making the rounds online. But this time, the speculation is coming directly from YouTuber John Campea, who openly admits he has no inside information to back it up, yet he's somehow 100% sure. In a recent discussion, Campea laid out what he believes is the most likely scenario for the DC Studios co-head, suggesting Gunn may eventually leave Warner Brothers Discovery and wind up back at Marvel. Why? Because James Gunn does not politically align with the Ellisons. So he's got to get out of there. And maybe the Ellisons don't economically align with James Gunn, who doesn't seem to be winning right now with DC. Campea went on to predict that before the end of the year, Gunn will allegedly approach Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav to request release from his contract in the wake of the Paramount Skydance, and the Ellisons looking as though they're going to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. Quote, I am 100% sure that before the end of the year, 100% sure, James Gunn is going to go to David Zaslav and say, it's been nice, but there's no way I'm working for those guys. So can you please let me out of my contract? And I think David Zaslav will let him out of his contract. At present, there's been no public indication from Gunn DC Studios or Warner Brothers Discovery suggesting any imminent departure. Lou, let's smack this down, shall we?
Well, first of all, I don't know that they can let him go, considering his contract was part of what they just sold to the Ellisons.
He's on a one-year contract, Lou.
All right, but I mean, they maybe can't end it till it ends because it was one of the assets they purchased.
But Lou, why? Okay, John Campea, buddy, you're going to have to do another video around the pool or something. Lou, if it's a one-year contract still, why would he walk out of a one-year contract and wipe out whatever benefits he receives by completing the contract?
Makes no sense to me.
Right.
Except that part of his contract probably is that he's not allowed to negotiate something new with somebody else till it's over.
Does Marvel want him
That's
now?
the bigger question, of course. Do they really want him?
We're not making more Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and the only thing he's really been successful with is Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Everything else has been kind of meh.
What Marvel character would he cast his wife as?
Well, listen, here we are in the Dave Filoni situation with Star Wars, eh? How many more inspires can we get? Wiz, the more likely thing here is that the Ellisons would come in, but that's still not likely that they would come in and fire him, because if they did, they'd have to pay him the rest of the contract, and he's on a 1 year. His contract ends, and just like, go ahead.
Everything about this claim is short-sighted. It is spoken from a position of political overreach. It's political insanity, because you're not thinking through what you're actually saying or analyzing the positions that anybody is in here. Marvel's not in a great, let's just talk about Marvel. Marvel's not in a great spot. If Doomsday, and the leaks keep coming out on Doomsday, lots of them keep getting confirmed. I don't think a lot of people are going to like Doomsday as much as they were
and
told
it lost
that
IMAX.
And it lost IMAX. Look, if Marvel is in a rocky place, James Gunn is in a rocky place. The DCU is in a rocky place. If there is no, and we know that James Gunn likes to have full control over everything he does. He's kind of an egomaniac like that. If you listen to him in interviews and such, and the way that he sees his vision, it must be his vision. He is a prideful guy, I would say, but he doesn't have the leverage here to do anything like this. If he walks away from the DCU, then he is now known in Hollywood as sacrificing Superman. It's sacrificing all of these characters. Who's ever going to give him a serious job again? Who's ever going to give him leadership at this level again, worth this much money? No one's going to do that. And if he goes back to Marvel, this is like reheating McDonald's fries, everybody. That's what this is like. And no one's going to want that. Nobody likes reheated McDonald's fries. They're not good the next day. James Gunn has got to deliver with Supergirl, with Man of Tomorrow. And if he doesn't, the Ellisons are going to say, all right, well, firstly, your contract is up because it is only a year, but you're done. We have to do something else. We're bringing other people in, or your role is diminished so heavily that you're not even a leader in this branch of our business anymore. For him to, he's going to go back to Marvel and do he's just going to do animation. That's what he's going to be reduced to. I think his ego's too big for that. There is
what's his pitch to Marvel? I got a great idea, Marvel. We're going to make Tony Stark an alcoholic, just like Supergirl. Wrong actor to pitch that to, I think.
Andy, what say you?
Has anyone noticed Nathan Fillion spreading things out there about Firefly? What if James Gunn, because Joss Whedon isn't coming back anytime soon, he's still going to be canceled. How about James Gunn taking over Firefly and bringing that back? Disney would probably take a chance on it.
Maybe. But I'll tell you one thing, I don't think they're going to take a chance on Gunn. But here's what I don't understand, Andy, about people like John Campea. What I don't understand is, it's your job. Okay, I don't think he has another job. I got a feeling YouTube is his main career. Your main job is to understand the movie industry and report on it. And so you report on this thing and you say, 100% sure, don't have any evidence, 100% sure though, that James Gunn's going to go to Warner Brothers, go to Zaslav and say, get me out of my contract this year. And it seems like Campea would know that would provide absolutely no change except harming James Gunn, because the contract will be ending anyway. And yet he's reporting this, and the news is all over this, and just look at this. The Marvel heir apparent theory, where Campea's theory gets more ambitious, is in the proposed landing spot. He speculated that Gunn could ultimately return to Marvel Studios and position himself as a long-term successor to Kevin Feige. I mean, this is some serious dreaming. Quote, I think he's going to end up back at Marvel, and he will become Kevin Feige's heir apparent to take over Marvel after Kevin Feige finally goes. That's what I think is going to happen. That's the roadmap that I see happening here. And meanwhile, folks, do you know when this contract ends? Spring of 2027. Practically the end of this year, right? Because I bet you there's no movies coming out from DC in January and February. So practically, there's no change except that Gunn would forfeit everything from his contract to do this. It makes 0 sense whatsoever. 0 sense. Andy, why do these people not know the industry they cover?
Well, we've all talked about that Gunn's probably going to be exiting regardless because the Netflix people wanted Snyderverse, and Gunn's vision doesn't really align with the Ellisons. And looking at what the popularity of Gunn, I don't think it really aligns with the mainstream that's looking for like a mainstream superhero film. I think this might be James Gunn saying like, hey, you can't fire me, I quit, like, and trying to create some buzz about him.
Lauren, I do have a thought for James Gunn. There's one place he could go that I think they'd appreciate him. Star Wars.
I knew you were going to say that. And actually,
he's better than Filoni, and that's.
I think that may be why Campia is thinking this way. I think that he's applying what happened at Lucasfilm to what he thinks could happen to Gunn. I'm like you. I think Gunn's just going to wait out his contract because it doesn't make any sense to do anything else. Yeah. I don't think that there's a way for him to go back to Marvel, but if I was trying to put myself into Campia's mind, here's what I would be thinking. In a way, Guardians of the Galaxy was both the best and the worst thing to happen to the MCU. It was a show that nobody believed was going to draw an audience. They thought it was too quirky, it's too weird, they're not going to buy into it, and it became a massive, massive thing. And it had changed the entire direction of the MCU. They decided they wanted everything to be like Guardians of the Galaxy. That's why we ended up getting Taika Waititi.
That's why Marvel started using jokes all the time that perfectly mocked or copied, aped what was happening in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right, but they view that as when it really started to take off to meteoric success. So I think the way Campia is looking at it is that, well, that means that James Gunn is the MCU's Dave Filoni. And we know that Feige liked what Gunn did, so in his mind, I see how he's trying to put this together. But to put a percentage like 100% on there, when you consider, let's say that Gunn walked away, that shows that you're not a professional. It's like you've got to be able to work with the people who own the company. You don't walk away from a massive franchise because you're having a hissy fit about who's signing your paycheck. So it's like that is just a ludicrous statement to make. I understand how he's getting there thinking, well, maybe this is Feige's exit plan, but 100%? No, man, you need to get outside a little bit.
1% chance.
This is the equivalent of John Campia is playing with action figures, and they all just happen to be Hollywood people. This is unrealistic.
And yet, journalists are covering it. Wiz, we covered Paramount, Netflix, and all that, and consistently for months and months and months and months, Netflix. The mainstream media has told us Netflix is going to win. Netflix is going to win. Netflix is going to win, and we just kept saying no. Paramount's going to win. Nobody came out and said, according to Valiant Renegade and WDW Pro and Jonas Campbell, nobody came out and said they had it the whole way. But John Campia comes out and gives us a scenario that literally makes no logical sense whatsoever. And all you have to know is when the contract actually ends, which we do, and you realize this doesn't make any, this is telling me that gravity functions in the opposite way. We're all going to fly off the earth tomorrow. I'm 100% sure of it. But the news media, Fake Wiz, they run with it, baby. Oh, we're running with that one. Give him the credit.
Oh, yeah. And nothing's going to happen here. Just think about this. If he was to quit and walk away, again, you're walking away from Superman and the entire DCU that you were supposed to be building. You're walking away from that. No one will ever let him live that down. So the fans certainly won't, especially the fact that Superman didn't make money, right? We now know with Ted Sarandos saying under oath that Superman didn't make money at the box office. That's a pretty big deal. He needs to dig himself out of a hole, not dig deeper.
That's right. That's exactly right. But when the year passes by, and when James Gunn does not demand, he doesn't storm the gates and demand, fire me, let me free, and that doesn't happen, there will be no articles that come back and say, John Campia is nuts. We'll just keep on going with the next one, with his action figures playing with him. The next one, and the next one, and the next one. Lou on the run. Lou, you got to go. We've had a lot of fun. We're looking forward to having you real soon, too. But Lou, tell the folks out there what you're up to with the genre guys. What did you guys just record?
We just recorded 2 movies that I think our takes will surprise you. One movie that was totally ignored at the box office that's great, and that is Paycheck with Ben Affleck and Uma Thurman, based on the great story, but totally different story by Philip K. Dick. And the other, a movie with 4 huge superstars that when you watch it again, you're going, oh, gee, I remember it better, which is Space Cowboys, you know, with Garner and Sutherland and Tommy Lee and, of course, Clint, who also directed it. And I'm sure glad he got better at directing because, well, you'll see. It's going to be up there soon, and we have more to come.
All right. Well, we are very excited. Lou, we'll catch you soon. You take care, my friend.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
All right, folks, let's continue right along. What do we got for Super Chats? Let's see what's behind the screen. Clay Napier for $4.99. PB, let's see. Hang on now. Let me see if is that peanut butter? Pepto-Bismol. See, I was going with peanut butter, okay? That was, okay. We're going with very unappetizing. Pepto, may taste. Oh, Lauren, thank you. All right. Pepto may taste better than blue milk and helps with the digestion of the money of a 4-person trip around Disney World.
For the dollars of a 4-person trip around WDW.
Lauren, would you just read it for me, please?
Yeah, you're needing some help, man.
Please.
Pepto-Bismol may taste better than blue milk and helps with the digestion for the dollars of a 4-person trip around Walt Disney World.
Bingo.
Poor Pro, he's wearing down. He can't even get the Super Chats out anymore. Decrepit is he. Ken Reinhardt for 2. Despite Campia's BS. Lauren, figure that out later. We'll figure out what those 2 letters mean. Gunn's future may be in the past. Wait a minute. Does he have a DeLorean? Article 2, Section 4 for $4.99. Just saw Leo's Revenant. IMAX 2015. Men movies were manly and epic, but it lost Oscar Best Pick to Spotlight. I'll be mad if Leo's OBAA. Help me out, guys. What's OBAA?
I'm lost on that one.
One battle after another. I got it. One battle after another beats F1. One battle after another is Hollywood's Nocturnal Happy Dream. Did I say that right, Lauren?
That's a good way to put it. Yep.
That was a good way. Yeah.
Nocturnal Happy Dream for what they'd like to have happen to conservatives. Some of you out there might identify as a conservative. It's a movie about beating you up, essentially. And so they're going to give that awards. Yeah. That's what they're about. Clay Napier for $1.99. Gunn will end up at A24, Blumhouse, or Uncalled. Maybe.
Yeah. His position, he's got no leverage to walk away from a deal this big. He'll never get a job this big again.
No, but he could go to Sony. Sony would take him for something.
Yeah, to restart the Sony verse, the Spider-Man verse. That's what he'll be doing. Morbius by James Gunn. Madam Web by James Gunn.
Can I throw out something weird as just a thought?
You know you're not allowed to. You're not allowed to say that word here, Lauren. It has a connotation.
Weird.
What's today's secret word?
Go ahead. You used the word.
What if he went to Universal and they used him to restart the Dark Universe?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Misunderstood Wolfman.
Oh, no.
I don't know if it could be any worse than what they did the last time.
It could always be worse.
Kurtzman is a low bar.
Well, you know, Dave Bautista would follow him to do whatever. So, Dave, he loves him some James Gunn. Sean, formerly John, $1.99. Maybe James Gunn can make Disney's Ella McKay too. Can't do worse with that one.
Yeah.
Mrs. Bartender goes to Washington.
England DG for 2. I joined for the cheeseburger. False advertising. Yeah, the thumbnail features Trump with a cheeseburger, and he is celebrating on top of the CNN logo. Now, he's supposed to, I don't know if we got this in the thumbnail, He's supposed to have like a Burger King crown, but that's, if we didn't get in there, it's okay. But that's why the cheeseburger's there. So just understand. Somebody wearing the crown right now, Patrick Ganaway, 8906, gifting 10 more pro memberships. Thank you, Patrick. And for those of you who just received one of those beautiful memberships, please make sure to say thank you to Patrick.
God dang it, from the bottom of our hearts here on the WDW Pro Channel, thank you.
We've also got Kenneth LaRoque out there, a member for 26 months. Good evening. I'm getting ready to start work. Kenneth, thank you for making the world work the next day. If it was not for those of you out there working third shift, well, we'd have nothing going on. When we woke up in the morning, it would be an apocalypse, terrible place to be. Somebody's got to do it. Surgeons on call, nurses doing their thing, engineers at the power plants. So keep the world running all through the night, folks. We appreciate our third shifters. And if you are a third shifter and you're listening to us, and once upon a time you listen to somebody like Art Bell, let us know in the chat. Would love to hear from you. Who else do you listen to in the middle of the night? Clay Napier for 199. Where is my glasses? Where is my glasses?
Always check your face.
It's a good place for them to be. England DG for 2. If you know memes, you do not want a Burger King crown.
Or
yeah, I've heard about that.
You do.
Maybe.
You're doing it because it's the meme.
Yeah. You know, if we had put the crown on, though, the idea was if the crown's on there and the cheeseburger and CNN, I mean, the click rate just shoots up. I mean, I'm trying to chase fake Wizards, the way he thinks around this place.
That's right.
Yeah, Wizard's the king of thumbnails. He's the king of memes, at least in concept. No doubt about it. All right, folks, we got Wiz. Do you even have the ability to make the face you make for the thumbnails? Like, is that, or have you went in? Can you do it? Folks, we don't ask this very often. Wizard, give yourself a moment.
On which one. It's either that, or like I look kind of sad, or I'm like,
hold on, Wiz. Do it one more time, sir. One more time. I love it. But I'm going to correct you, Wiz. I'm going to correct you because recently you said that you were worried that part of the appeal was, just looking that way and people coming in. I think there's a dichotomy. I think there's a juxtaposition of the way that you look in the thumbnail versus the kind of content when they get in there that's causing you to, the subscription level is just insane. Very few channels ever obtain this. And I think it's that paradox people feel when they come in. They clicked it thinking, what in the world is this? And they clicked it and they said, oh my gosh, it's like the entertainment version of Jordan Peterson mixed with meme culture.
Yeah, and then they stick around and they're like, it's actually researched. Uh-oh. I thought I was going to make fun of this guy dressing like a wizard. Oh, no.
He's actually intelligent. Darn it, this makes it so much more difficult to deal with. All right, folks, let's get to it. We've got some research to bring to you. It's the final story of the night, but don't fright. For folks, we'll be back again tomorrow at noon. And there's one more story still in store. The prices for Walt Disney World have now hit a ceiling that most people cannot afford, and it's getting crazy out there. It's getting insane. How insane is it? Well, the Wall Street Apes are reporting this is actually insane. And since they said it, well, I'll say it too. An American will say, booked a Disney World vacation for his family, and then he also booked one to go to Europe and stay in 5-star hotels and eat at Michelin star restaurants across Europe. Folks, you won't believe how much more expensive Disney was. Here we go. Here's the video.
So I just finished booking my family's Disney vacation, right? It's for my daughter's 3rd birthday. And I want to explain to you how insane these prices are, okay? A few weeks ago,
By the way, I need to explain the strategy of this man for those of you who don't know. This man is pointing up at his ceiling. He wants you to know the intricate details in his ceiling so that you will realize he is legit rich, okay? Go back and I just watch the play, okay? He's pointed up to the ceiling for a reason. Here you go.
Insane these prices are, okay? A few weeks ago, I just flew my family, my entire family, across the world for a ski vacation to Courchevel, France, it's called Les Trois Vallées, which is the largest ski area in the world. Flew them across the world, got them new gear for snowboarding, private lessons, stayed in 5-star hotels, ate at amazing restaurants, 2 of them Michelin star restaurants. All of that in France and Switzerland, right? Half the price of taking my family to Disney World and Universal Studios for 5 days. Really think about that for a second. You can take your family to Europe, right? Fly business class, eat in Michelin star restaurants, 5-star hotels for half the price than Disney World.
Wowza. Now, Andy, what makes this worse is apparently the exchange rate is not great for going to Europe right now. I guess, I don't know, but it makes it actually more impressive that this is such a disparity. Andy, you don't have to go to World Showcase at Epcot. You can literally go check out the countries themselves for half the price. And why has Disney done this to themselves? And will they finally slow down escaping inflation to this degree?
This isn't a new strategy. I saw this when I used to work in the supermarket business. You get a company who decides that they're going to appeal to the boutique shopper and go for high-end merchandise. But sooner or later, people that have money start to realize like they can have somebody else do their shopping for them and get a better price on it, and that strategy falls away. Your core is always in more sales, and that means volume. Volume means reasonable prices for people. As we see things right now, it's gotten to a point where the average person really, really struggles for things. I mean, when I took my kids to Disney World, like every few years, back in the late 2020, up to 2010, 2012, it was pretty reasonable. You had the passes where you could, the park hopper passes that weren't like super expensive, and we were able to do that. This idea of them pricing out the riffraff down there and appealing to the elites is a short-sighted, short-term infusion of cash to cover their other sins. If they don't correct this, and Universal keeps making content for younger crowds, I think Disney will eventually fall into obscurity. It will take a while, but eventually, we've seen Sears and Roebuck. People thought that would always be an American staple. Kmart, all of these big institutions once thought that they were Disney and couldn't be touched, but they were wrong.
I want to go to an example right now of, because people are saying, well, how much did it cost and how much does it cost to go to Disney? I want to break this down for you. Back in 2024, there's an article out here out of Emily M. Krause. Says, how much does it cost for a family trip to Europe? Says, our family took a 2-week European vacation this summer to Italy and Greece. I hope they took Chevy Chase. Says, we had been saving for the trip for 3 years. You get it, yada, yada, yada. Okay, let's go down. How much did it cost? How much did it cost? Do we have an answer? Where's the answer? It's all the way down here. The total cost of our trip to Italy and Greece with 4 kids for 2 weeks was $13,770. That works out to around $2,295 per person. But again, for 2 weeks. Okay? For 2 weeks. So if we cut that down to 1 week, okay? 1 week. I know it doesn't change the cost of the airfare, but it's gonna reduce it down to $1,500, whatever. And all you got to know, folks, is that there is no way, in my estimation at this point, to go to Walt Disney World for less than $1,000 per day. There's just no way. There's just no way. Because it's $200 for a ticket to get in there. Plus, you got to consider hotel. Plus, you got to consider the cost of food. Now, you could be frugal and you can try to get it down a little bit lower, but for a family of 4, there's no way to go for less than $1,000 a day. Okay, so 5 days is going to cost you $5,000 minimum, and that is just scrapping by. Okay, so at $13,000 for 2 weeks, we're getting pretty on par. And you got to remember this came out in 2024. So you could argue, you could say, well, it's not twice as much. It's not. The fact that it's comparable, the fact that you could fly halfway across the world and go do all the real stuff and go to the fanciest restaurants in Europe, and it's still going to be more expensive. We can debate how much, but Wiz, why are families doing this to themselves? Why?
Well, there are still lots of people, lots of families, millennials that are attached to Disney. And so they are going to pay whatever it costs to make their biannual pilgrimage to Capitol Mouse House. And that's just what they're going to do. The problem here is really, to Andy's point, which I fully agree with, that yeah, by boosting the prices here, it's to cover up a lot of the mistakes that they've made in the past, but this will bite them very soon. Because here's the problem. When you raise prices, it's very, very hard to bring them down, especially with how inflation continues and prices everywhere for everything just continue to go up. This isn't gas, which could go up and down. It's not groceries, which can go up and down. These are optional things, and those usually don't come down. They like to get those as high as possible. But further than that, eventually people are going to stop being as attached to Disney. And why is that? It's because the product that Disney's making just isn't, it's just not good anymore. The problem is you might be able to survive now and maybe a few more years, and Disney will continue to live on for sure, but less and less and less people are going to have the budgets. And further than that, they're just not going to care. Why would I care to go to Disney? I don't watch, Disney, and not even me. I'm saying in general, people, Disney. We don't watch Disney here. We don't watch Disney in this house. We don't watch Disney movies. We don't have Disney Plus. Why would we go to Disney World? Why wouldn't we go anywhere else? Why wouldn't we go see the world in the places where it's accessible and affordable and on budget? And that's what families are being put in a position for. They're the people that are so diehard. Yeah, they're going to spend whatever they got to spend there. We're seeing reports now of millennials going into crippling credit card debt. And this is becoming a trending thing, but it's not going to last forever. Disney's real problem is you could charge a fortune to go to Disney World, but if your movies aren't good enough, your shows aren't good enough, eventually you're going to lose the audience that's willing to pay the top dollar to go to Disney. So this is short-term, short-sighted, and it's a bad decision. They need to start making better movies. And then you could justify charging whatever you want when you're making stuff that's good enough that everybody's paying attention again. But for every franchise Disney has right now is in some degree of being flushed. That's what's happening.
You're exactly right. One of the strangest strategies they have is that at the same time these prices are so high and people who don't know are paying for it, every single week there's some new discount that comes out. Disney Tourist Blog, Tom Bricker's reporting on this one. Disney World's biggest and best 2026 discount on resorts expanded recent. DCL guests. So now if you're a Disney Cruise Line guest, how much can you get off? You can get the buy 4, get 2 free discount. Offering up to 25% off and 30% off of select hotels at Disney World. They're offering free dining plans for kids. They're offering all this stuff, but you got to know about it. And the idea is that those who don't know about it pay the full price, and those who are on the edge, they have to go search for these discounts. And they've turned Disney World into like Hobby Lobby, where every other week something is half off. And it's a strange strategy, Lauren, because we're not talking about going and buying a $15 frame from Hobby Lobby. We're talking about a vacation that can cost, as much as a car, as much as a vehicle, a new car purchase. And it's a horrible way to run to run the pricing for parents trying to take their kids to the castle.
Well, part of what you're seeing, I think, this is just a personal opinion, but there comes a point when somebody has built something, when they put something together that they put their blood, their sweat, and their tears into, and eventually it becomes a success. That is something that is theirs. It becomes a part of their identity. But when you try and pass something on to a next generation, unless they have a specific attachment to it, it's just a thing. And I think that's what you have with the people that are running Disney today. It's just a thing. It is a thing that they're going to squeeze as much money out of it as they possibly can for themselves. They don't care if it's left a husk at the end of it. And that may be what you're seeing right now, is that they're just going to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and they don't care if it survives to pass on to that next generation because they got theirs.
They're getting theirs. And you're right. It's a very short-term play. Going for the ultra elites, the global whales that'll spend whatever it takes for their once-a-generation trip and then trying to fill it any way they can with discounts, with, Florida resident discounts, get people in for almost nothing. And meanwhile, those who don't care to check often enough or have the money, they just don't mind it, they're paying out the wazoo. And folks, if you know what a wazoo is, it's a lot. Never pay out the wazoo. Don't let anything happen to your wazoo, ladies and gentlemen. Take care of the wazoo.
I believe we were talking just the other night about culture's unrestricted urethra.
Is that where the wazoo is located? I thought the wazoo was on the other side.
I did too, but it just seemed to fit.
What is the stream? We have pink milk, now the wazoo. What are we doing here?
Wiz, that's what culture was wondering, but I beat you to it, Lord. I'm sorry. That was your joke.
I was going to say, it's like that's the whole point of an unrestricted urethra is. That's where the stream comes from.
And sometimes when the stream disappears. Shilly JD has become a YouTube member. Welcome aboard. Happy to have you. Pretty sure we've seen you before, so I bet it's at a new level. Good to see you out there, Shilly. John Maynor for 5. I'm starting a side business. Side hustle, you say. For an auto detailing, ceramic coating, as it allows me to use my hands. Here is also to add to the goal. Well, John, that's so kind of you. And good luck. It's always great to be an entrepreneur. Get out there and work hard and be smart and be the best you can and just see where the chips fall, or in this case, the tiles. England DG for 5. Fake Wizard and I are on Spirit Airlines. Flying to Orlando. Is this a true story, Wiz?
We're going to find out. Let's keep reading.
Fake Wizard and I are on Spirit Airlines. Do you fly Spirit Airlines, Wiz?
I don't.
I
don't. No.
Credibility dropping. Flying to Orlando to go to SeaWorld, and I have my Burger King crown on. And I start yelling, Wizard! Wizard!
Oh, man. There's another guy out there taking the name Fake Wizard because that wasn't me. I fly United.
Everybody wants to be you. Every lady wants to be with you. I understand. People put it on the fake. They're putting on the fake beard and the hat now, Wiz, and taking your name.
There actually are.
that would actually be a fun new stream for you, though. Fake Wizard and the Burger King. It sounds like an 80s buddy cop kind of a thing.
That's what we need. I need a co-host that's the Burger King.
Oh my. Oh, that's going to go places. England DG for 5. True, our honeymoon was in Japan in December. Universal used to be more expensive, but no more. We did Tokyo and Kyoto, including Tokyo Disneyland and Disney Sea. 1/3 the price of Disney World. Yes, it is now cheaper to fly from Orlando to Tokyo Disney and fly back to Orlando than it is to just stay in Orlando and do Disney World. That is true. We've done the math. It's cheaper to do that. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Also, we've got Dakochio out there. Dakochi gifting 10 WDW Pro memberships. Thank you, Dakochi. We appreciate you so much, and it's good to see your name. First time, I believe. Happy that you're out there. And you, sir, have become, or ma'am, a gigawatt.
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
No! No!
Now, ascend, my son.
I'm sure James Earl Jones recorded those lines, I'm sure. England DG for 5. In 2010, when I took my kid, we stayed for 10 days at CBR, Park Hopper, Deluxe Dining, Magical Express. Flight from DC, the whole trip was less than $3,000.
Oh, the good times.
Mm-hmm. That's easily at the, let's see, 10 days. Yeah, you do get a reduction in cost the longer you stay per day. but still, that's going to cost a lot more. I'm going to say it's at least tripled. It's at least tripled.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we got to get out of here. It's been a great time. It's been a groovy time. But there's more time coming up tomorrow, and we got to get at it. We got to do some work. That 4-letter word that ends with K, and we love it, folks, each and every day. 365, these guys never rest. In fact, just like dolphins, they sleep with one eye open just to get the work done. Wiz, I'm not sure that, no. Wiz, you froze it, one of the most, Andy, tell the folks out there where they can find you and what you're up to.
Laboratory of Mayhem, I just made a video on how to make your own Harvey containment unit because you can't have him out impregnating prostitutes.
Amen. I've always thought that. I just didn't know how to enunciate it the way you just did. Lauren, are you stopping any mythological creatures from impregnating the women of your society?
No, but I'm going to make it a priority to escape my containment unit. I can tell you that.
Folks, get your chastity belts ready and lock them tight. Fake Wiz, what you got going on over there, buddy?
Well, I'm excited. We're going to see a Pixar movie this week. We got Hoppers coming out, and I'm hoping to be here joining you guys to cover it. I have a new show starting Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern. We're doing a Friday morning show starting this week called Fake Cast. I'm a little excited about that. My brother and I are going to be going on covering shows and movies that are coming out now, and it'll be a weekly thing. So that'll be fun. Check that out. Real Life Fake Wizard here on YouTube.
Now, what do you call your brother on stream on YouTube?
We were talking about that. He wants to go either Mage Man or Wizard Man or something magical, but also ridiculous. But I'm Fake Wizard, but he's got to be something else that's just as silly.
Yeah, just as ridiculous. Lauren, what can we? How can we be illiterate? Not illiterate. How can we be illiterate with Mage? What can we do there?
Well, I was wondering if you could go with Warlock, but I was having trouble coming up with another W word.
Yeah, I stay away from Warlock because there's a lot of negative connotations there. I don't like the whole demonic stuff with Warlocks.
I'd have to think about it a bit to come up with something for Mage, but if something springs to mind, I'll be sure to let you know.
Imaginary Mage.
Make him your plastic apprentice.
There you go. Yeah. Or maybe just Burger King.
Yeah, just something completely nonsensical. The Burger King.
That's right. Yep.
Or maybe just a Burger King.
Yeah.
He doesn't even get to be the Burger King.
It's just a.
Is he a little bit insane?
We all are.
You could call him the Mage of Madness.
Now, wait a minute. Andy's sitting down there in the laboratory of Mayhem. We could do the Mage of Mayhem, and then it's a sponsorship. It's cross-platform.
Oh, well, do we have to license that, Andy? Do I have to pay a licensing fee?
Oh no, because I've got the Major Mayhem action figure.
Oh my gosh! Wait a minute, was that golden arches on his shield?
No, it's an M.
Oh, okay. First, I thought you got a McDonald's sponsorship.
It's the arch enemy of a Burger King.
All right, we've got a story forming right now, folks. There's a storm of brewing, and it's more news tomorrow coming from this channel and the rest of the places out there. Thank you for joining us. Get over there and subscribe to all of our friends if you've got the time. And honestly, then your parents can finally say, "We're proud of you, son. We're proud of you, daughter." And that's what we want for you. That's what we want. Don't forget, Thursday night, Fake Wizard is going to go see it. I'm going to go see it. You're going to come watch wherever we are. The review is rising. The week of the Beaver is finally here.
The mainstream media just can't understand how it is we continue to do what we do. They don't realize that we are powered by you, and you are
1.21 gigawatts! 1.21 gigawatts!
Folks, we've still got decades and decades left in the can. It drives the mainstream mad.
Would it make you feel any better if you knew that what we're asking Matt here to do is a holy thing?
You see, we're on a mission from God.
We're on a mission from God.
Now you're gonna put me right back in the joint. They're not gonna catch us. We're on a mission from God.
So, folks, as we always say as we end each and every show here, and we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and as always, keep having fun.
Every time they hit him, he stood back up again. So they hit him harder. Still, he got back to his feet. Standing man.